Hola bonitas, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a review and wear test on a new little productito from Sephora. This is the Sephora Collection's new matte foundation powder. This is their best skin ever version, but in powder. They have the liquid version, which is really nice. I'm sure you guys have tried it. And now they have a powder foundation. So I'm very excited to put this to the test. I already have some of my makeup on, so let's just go ahead and get right into this review. Okay, bonitas, so I do want to talk a little bit about this product. This is their best skin ever matte powder foundation, like I just mentioned. It retails for $20. This is the matte powder version of Sephora Collection's best skin ever foundation, like I just mentioned. It is supposed to be a full coverage, matte finished pressed powder. I did get this one in the shade 27.5Y, medium yellow undertone. So, a ver cómo nos va. So what I like to do for these is I like to go in with a sponge and I just take the product like that. Ooh, look at that pigment. And then we're just gonna apply it. I like how easily it's kind of like melting into the skin, as you guys can see, which is really nice. Look at that. You can even like pat it in if you want. I always like to apply these type of powder foundations with a sponge. I feel like the sponge gives you the most pigmentation and just makes everything look really nice. So that's what I like to go in with. I do want to point something out real quick that I almost forgot to point out. I already do have on my concealer and my loose powder to set my concealer, because this is a liquid, this is a matte, so you have to go in with your liquids first and then go in with your powder products. It gives an immediate coverage and it works well with the concealer that we went in with. I have to tell you guys, this concealer right here, the new Makeup Forever HD Skin Concealer, I really have been loving it for every day. I feel like it's such a lightweight, natural consistency. So I really do appreciate that concealer, but so far this powder looks nice. I will say though, I feel like this is more of like a buildable powder to me. Like I feel like you build it up to like that more full coverage. I think it looks nice for like every day, and obviously it's covering up some of my imperfections. I feel like for me, it's always so hard to match myself to powder, because I feel like powder can be very hit or miss. Sometimes it can look too light, but it can end up working out well, or sometimes it can look too orange for you, and then you're like, oh my gosh, what did I do? But I think this one is pretty good, and I think because right now I do have a little bit of a tan, it's going on better with my complexion than a lighter shade would. Because I feel like with powder, sometimes they can definitely pick up a little bit more on like that lighter tone, so you kind of want to go in a little bit darker than what you would go, and that should match you much better. But I think that's a good match so far. And I'm just gonna go ahead and apply some on my nose, because that's where I do have the rosacea. So let's see how well it covers that. Okay, it did a good well covering the rosacea, which is really good. And I do have to say, this is working really well with the sponge. This does actually come with a sponge in here, right here. It's working really well with my concealer and my loose powder right here. Like you can see like that seamless effect, which I really appreciate. Okay, so now we're gonna go in with this side right here. And I think for this side, I do wanna go in with a brush, but I do have to say, now that I'm applying it with this brush, it's dense, but I feel like it's looking more natural than with a sponge. Look at that. Isn't it funny how with liquids, usually with the brush, it looks more full coverage, and with the sponge, it looks more like natural? This is the opposite. And I think it has to do with the fact that when you go in with a sponge, you're literally pressing that sponge there and then pressing on your face. You're getting really the maximum capacity and pigmentation of the product, as opposed to with a brush, because there's so many bristles in there. Even if the brush is dense, you're getting more so of that like effortless, like very natural appearance. Look at that. Like it's giving me coverage, but the coverage isn't as noticeable as this side over here. Do you guys see that? Honestly, I feel like I like both sides. They both look really nice so far. Like I feel like this one for like every day, and then with the sponge for like special occasion. Like it covers the redness. It's covering its side of the redness, but it does look a little bit more natural than the side where we went in with just the sponge. But it still gives you good coverage. Like I feel like for everyday use, this is really good. I typically like to use liquid foundations over powders, and then at the end go in with a loose powder to set everything. But this is looking really nice. And you could even use this to set your foundation. Like once it's applied and you want to set it, you can use this to set it as well. It's good to know that this powder gives you like that buildable, customizable coverage, so that you can really pick and choose what you feel like is best for you. This is what the color looks like right now. I feel like it's a pretty good match. Do I think it's like my spot on match? No, but I think it's a pretty good match. I feel like this side looks a little bit more spot on match than this side, but it still looks really nice. But let's see if it oxidizes. So I'm gonna look out for that, but I'm gonna go ahead and finish off this face. Y ahorita regreso. I just finished applying my full face of makeup with the powder. Right now it is 11:55 a.m. I got a little bit of a late start, pero aquí estamos. So I actually honestly only went ahead and ended up putting on lipstick and also, well, lip combo. I used like 3 different products, lip combo and then just blush, because I felt like I didn't need the extra bronzer. I just been loving kind of more like that natural simple look. I also feel like a lot of my favorite bronzer products are creams, and I just feel like powder foundations do not work best with the creams on top of it. So I'm just like, you know what, let's just do the powder blush. So for powder blush, I just go ahead and use a Dior blush that I used in a previous video. I'll definitely have that link down below. I will say though, I feel like the powder foundation kind of oxidized the blush. This is a mauve blush, and I feel like it kind of turned it a little brown in some areas. I feel like it does look like I'm wearing like contour or something like that. But yeah, I just went ahead and took a little sponge and kind of like tried to, I don't know, like soften it up a little bit, because I do feel like it was looking a little too extreme when I first applied it with the powder. Be mindful that the powder may oxidize the powder products that you put on top of it, so just keep that in mind. Because I did notice that with me, like I just feel like in some areas it is picking up a little bit deeper than it does when I do wear it on top of liquid foundation. For me personally, one of the reasons why I love wearing liquid foundation is because it's just so easy to apply everything, like layer things on the face, as opposed to powders. You do have to be very mindful of how things may apply on top or like separate. So yeah, I just went ahead and did that. But overall, I do like the fact that I feel like the Sephora powder is kind of becoming one with the skin. So it's not looking like a heavy, thick powder on top. Like it doesn't look cakey on the face. It looks really nice. Like it gives just a really nice finish. It does start to become one with your skin. I'm super appreciative of that, because I just don't like when powders look heavy or like you're wearing like this thick layer of something on top of the face. So I do appreciate the fact that this powder is becoming one with the skin. I will show you guys how this looks in natural light, and of course my final thoughts at the end of the day. But right now, so far, I do like it, minus the fact that it oxidized my blush a little bit, but everything else is working really well with it. I feel like the color's good. I'm glad that the powder didn't oxidize. Like I feel like it stayed pretty true to the color that we applied on both sides. I do feel like this side does look a little bit more natural than the side right here where we went in with a sponge. So it just really depends on the type of finish that you want. That I would say definitely if you want more natural, go with a brush. That's kind of what we're looking like right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and carry on with the rest of my day, and I will see you guys later for my final thoughts. Let you guys know if I think that the new Sephora powder is worth your cash or not. So stay tuned. Okay, bonita, so I'm here in natural light. So this is the side where we went in with the sponge and applied the powder. So se ve así. It actually looks really, really pretty in natural light. And like I said in the previous clip, that I really do appreciate that it doesn't look cakey. Like it really just melts very beautifully with your skin. This is the side where we went in with a brush. I feel like this side does look much more natural. It looks like I'm wearing like, kind of like what a skin tint would look like. Just much more natural, much more lightweight. This side does look more like full coverage. I also do feel like this side over here, we are looking a little bit more matte. This is a matte foundation. So me as somebody with oily skin, I'm definitely looking to see how it's gonna do with my oils and all that. So I do appreciate that this side we went in with a sponge. It does look more just full coverage. But the side with the brush, it looks really good too, like for every day. But here we are up close with the brush, with the sponge. So I'm gonna go ahead and carry on with the rest of my day, and I will see you guys in the evening for my final thoughts, see how this works. A ver cómo nos va. Bonita, so I am back right now. It is 7:11 p.m. and I've been wearing this foundation for a good amount of the day. I'm ready to give you guys my final thoughts. So this is what we're looking like. I have to say, we're pretty dewy. For me, I feel like it's not leaving me completely matte for the entire day. I feel like I did catch myself getting dewy around like 3 p.m. So I just feel like, do you guys see like the dew right here? And I feel like you can see my enlarged pores. So I probably would pair this with a pore minimizing primer before applying anything on the skin. But I think this would work best probably for people who do have combination skin. I would also recommend maybe trying this as like a finishing powder or setting powder. Like once you've applied your liquid foundation, you want to like set everything into place. That's kind of how I would probably use it, or how I'm going to use it next time to see how it does. But honestly, I have to say, like, overall my experience with it wasn't bad, because I feel like it really melted into the skin and became one with the skin. It didn't look super cakey or like a lot of makeup. But I will say, for me, this doesn't leave my skin looking matte. So like you can see the dew, especially like on my cheek area, around my nose. So I would say this is probably better for somebody who has combination skin or somebody who doesn't get too oily. But if you have very oily skin like me, probably won't be your favorite. So yeah, those are my thoughts. I hope you guys are watching this. This does retail for $20. I feel like this powder for my oily skin doesn't stay matte the entire day. So that's pretty much all I have for you guys. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please give this video a big thumbs up. Lets me know to continue doing these type of videos for you guys. Let me know down below if you've tried this powder foundation. Is it matte on you? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Let me know your thoughts. Let's start a conversation down below. Vamos a platicar. That's pretty much it. I will see you guys very, very soon. Hope you guys have a fabulous day. Don't forget to stay safe, stay blessed, and stay beautiful. Y nos vemos pronto. Adiós, bonitas.